In this video, we will learn how to add to the DTM an architectural element such as this church. The first thing to do is to draw the perimeter of the building, and I will do it from the top view. In this case, I will not use any OSNet because I'm basically drawing 2D polylines. So first of all, I check that the building perimeter layer is current, and then I can start drawing. Okay, if I move the model, you can observe that the polyline I've just drawn is entirely on a single default plane. But if you observe the building from this perspective, you see that it's made of 3 different parts, each with a different height. So now I will need to divide the perimeter into 3, let's call them sub-perimeters, and give to each one its right height. So I click again on the top view. And now I could switch off the texture and make the model more transparent so I can see it better. Okay. In this case, I select the snap on the vertices because I will start to draw from the perimeter I've just created. So I click again on Draw 3D Polyline and start from here. I disable the snap to put a point here, another one here. Okay, now I will do the same with the other parts of the building. So again, I'll snap on the vertices, draw a 3D polyline, Now that I've finished drawing the perimeter, I'm going to add some points to fix the height of each part of the building. Always on the building perimeter layer, I will draw 1 point at the base of the roof and 2 at its top to identify both its height and direction. And I will do the same for each part of the building. So I switch on the snap on the intersection. Now, the elements I've just drawn will not be used to create the DTM. They will instead be exported together with the DTM itself to be modeled in a CAD program. So, first of all, I hide the model. Then I switch on all the 3D elements I've drawn. And off again the original mesh, the auxiliary layer, and building perimeter. And now I can compute the DTM. Okay, and here is the DTM. Actually, it's a DITM because it has been created using also the segmentation layers, as you will remember. Okay, now I can switch on building perimeter and go back on the 2.5D model section. Here I will enable the exportation of both the DITM and the custom objects and click on export. I will name the file exportation DXF. Okay. In this case, I choose to export only the visible custom objects. Okay, here we're in AutoCAD and you see there are both the DITM and the lines and points I've exported from EasyCUBE TS+. Well, first of all, I could change the color of these lines and points to make them more visible. So I will click here and choose this color. Okay, well, no, it's much better. Now I will use the group management function of 3D utilities, which is a GeomaticsCUBE plugin to improve the organization of the model. So I click here. I will move these layers to the folder and building perimeter into other. So this way I will be able to switch on and off groups of layers very easily. For instance, I will select and switch it off. So I will see only the elements related to the building. Now, before I start drawing, I will select these points which represent the base of the roof and give them a different color for the sake of clarity. Okay. Okay, now I will need to transform these polylines, which are fundamentally 3D polylines, into 2D ones. And to do that, I will use this function. So I click here, then select the 3 perimeters, enter. Zero elevation is fine, and I click on OK. Then I will need to move each of these perimeters to its right height. So I click on this function, select the first perimeter, enter, and then select the point representing the correct height. And I will do the same with the other parts of the building. Okay, now if I orbit a bit the model, you will see that each part has gone to its right height. So I don't need these elements here anymore, and I will select them. Okay, let's change a bit the perspective so you see the height difference. Okay, now let's go back to the top view and switch on again all the model. What I will need to do now is to project these lines, the perimeters of the roof, on the model. So I will click here, then select each part of the roof. Okay, enter. Now I will need to select all the model and enter again. Here I'm asked if I want to build the buildings, and I will say yes. Okay, so if I get a little bit closer, and let's change also the visualization setting, you will see that the building, or better, the 3 parts of the building have been built on the 3D model. As you can observe, though, I still need to draw a roof, so now I will show you how. First of all, let's go back to the top view and to the wireframe visualization. Okay. Now, if I click again on the group management function, you will see 3 new layers that I will move. I will move these two into the folder, and this one into 3D. Okay. Now I will switch off again the folder, and I won't need also the 3D lines, which are the projection of my 3 parameters on the model, so I will switch it off. Okay, now if I get closer, let's put it here, okay. Now I will need to draw the ridge of the roof, and to do that, first I will create a new layer. So I click on Other, I will name it Auxiliary. I leave it in white and set it as current. I could also change the size of the points. Okay. Then I create a new line which goes from here to this point. And then I will break it into 3 parts. So and I will move again this vertex of the line. And I will do the same also with these 2 parts of the line. Okay, now I will move a little bit these vertices so they fit the perimeter. And I click here. Okay, and as I did before, now I need to move these lines to the right height. So I click here, select the line, enter, and select the point. Now, if I use again the orbit function, you will see that each line has been moved to its right height. Oh, there is a problem with this one. So I will move it. Okay. Okay, now I will switch on again the buildings. And I will start triangulating the parts of the roof. And to do that, I will use the manual function. But first of all, let's change the visualization. Okay. Oh, and I can remove these triangles here, which I don't need anymore. Also this. And then I will close the roof here. So I click here. Oops, again. Okay, now I can switch on again all the model. And here is the final result.